Page 4, Joy to the World. This is a fun arrangement if you can play the parallel sixth they've got in the right hand. 4/4 time, we're in the key of C major. Make sure you can do the C major scale. It would help. One hand at a time, let's make sure we got the fingering and notes. And not too much going on here except for the parallel sixth at the beginning. Here, and you're just going down. You're going from here. It's an octave from here to here. Practice that. Don't mess up the beat because you're doing this. It's got to be. And then you got the C scale going down. You reach up. Yeah, that's fine. I don't see any problems in this with the right hand except the parallel sixth. Let's talk about that technique a little bit. It's very loud here, and you can use arm here, but let the wrist collapse a little bit with each of these. Don't play with a stiff wrist. Play with it, let it collapse. You can raise the, but don't raise way up because you'll lose where you are. You don't want to lose really too much contact with the keyboard. You want to stay on it for the most part, but the loudness, you got to come up a little bit, and it's just up and down with the whole, pretty much arm, but I'm keeping a loose wrist. That's hard to do. It really is. I do it, the technique I use, and finding the notes, is I only aim one finger. And in this case, because the thumb is handy, I'm aiming the thumb. I'm keeping my hand in that position, and the little finger should go along. It should just, if I keep my hand in that position, the problem there is in order to keep my hand in that position, I'll tend to tense up. I'll get, and you don't want to do that. You got to fight that. You got to stay relaxed. Let the wrist collapse a little bit, and that will help you to stay relaxed here. So you got about 4 things all going on at one time. One is you're using the arm, you're collapsing the wrist, you're aiming one finger, and hoping the other finger behaves itself. So, can you multitask? I mean, you could have aimed the little finger if you wanted to. You need to be able to do either one, but I just do the thumb because it's handy. Usually I aim the one with the melody. In this case would be the little finger, but it's not really much of a melody, so I'll just aim the thumb. Same thing at the end, the last 2 lines you got that thing. Now on the last line, here you're going back and forth. And if it's going to do that, then I'm going to use 4 and 5. I'm going to let the thumb here. Rather than, I mean, you can use 1 and 5 on all of them. But it's just a habit of mine, and it helps in a lot of pieces to use 5 and 4 on this type of pattern. Left hand, well, left hand hopefully behaves itself because we got enough to think about in the right hand. And that's tied, you do that some more, okay. Measure 5, you're here, and then lift up for measure 6. Just come up. Not too bad in there, I hope. At the bottom of page 5, the last 2 measures, you're here, and then lift up. You have a treble clef, and those notes are an E and a C. I use 5 and 2 because the thumb is such a short finger, it's easier for me, I don't have to reach as far. You can use whatever fingers you want, just, it's there. Put the hands together, here. Take your time on this. Don't worry about playing it very loud right now. We'll do the dynamics later. I'm just trying to get the notes and the rhythms and everything. Rhythms aren't a problem, it's the notes. Take your time. Don't play these staccato. So you go through and put the hands together. Make sure you're lifting up for the rest in the left hand when it has a rest. Then go back through and get rid of the hesitations, and then we can think about, as far as articulation goes, there isn't any. You just connect it. lift up, lift up, lift. They say lift up. If you read the words, there's no break there. It's all one phrase. Then you lift up. Lift up. Lift up. I'll leave the phrasing, how you phrase it, up to you, but I usually follow the words. Of course, there's multiple verses to it, so in one verse you might have a comma where you'd lift up for the phrase, and in another verse it might not have a comma there where you don't lift up for, if you're following the words. But it gets interesting. This arrangement, they're only providing one set of words for you, so that's all right. Then the dynamics. Well, it really is to the right hand, but at the beginning there's no melody. You could play it both here. Very loud. Careful on this. Don't get carried away, because when you get low like this, you can get very loud very quickly. So this is, I'm feeling more like I'm playing moderately loud here, and it's coming out very loud. Here, you got to hit that pretty good, huh? Hit it musically, though. In measure 4, you're going to come down to loud. And now it's the right hand. Left hand goes down to soft. The last note there on page 4, the pickup to measure 16, you come down to moderately soft, sort of soft. The left hand's very soft. Now on measure 19, that's soft, come up, and then you're loud here. So the left hand went from very soft to about moderately loud. Almost into, because now you're very loud. You're loud. And you're loud here on measure 24. They're both hands, and you go up to very loud, like you were at the beginning, and you're staying very loud through the rest of it. Isn't that wonderful? Well, you're going to love it, because now we're going to add pedal, which is just going to explode it all over. So you may have to tone the dynamics down a little bit when you add pedal in the overtones, because it can get a little carried away. We want to be joyful. We don't want to be blah. The pedaling, it's going to be overlapping pedaling, and we're going to smear this at the beginning, because we're kind of pretending like we're bells ringing out, and bells don't have dampers, they just ring out. So we're just smearing it all together, so you can pedal it like they're doing. But when we get to the melody here, we don't want to blur that up too much, so I have some suggestions on the pedal there. So at the beginning, blur it up, and you can, because it's very loud, push the pedal down with the note here. Actually, you can push the pedal down before you play the notes. That way, when you play the notes, it just kind of explodes. So the dampers are off the strings already, ready to go. Measure 8, I'm going to lift it up. I want to hear the rest in the left hand. I'm not going to pedal the 4th beat. Same thing, or they're telling you to do that in measure 11. Well, I did this in measure 8. I just lift the pedal up. Except now I'm not pedaling any of this, because it would smear it if I do. Now here, I want to pedal this. This, I know it's softer, but I have problems with these connected notes. It's too choppy. So I'm gonna pedal them to connect them. So at the pickup to measure 16, the last note on page 4, I'm gonna pedal that. Right after, I'm gonna leave it down until the 8th note, so I'm gonna lift it up. Here, okay? I'm gonna lift it up for the 8th notes. And then on measure 17, I'm gonna pedal this. I wanna connect them. Lift it up. I want to hear the phrase if I can. measure 18, except the eighth notes. And measure 19, I'm going to pedal beats 2 and 3, but not 4. And on measure 20, I'm going to pedal 20 and 21 and 22 and all those. I'm going to pedal those because we're back up to loud again. And then you're back to smearing it. So forth. And the last line, you're smearing all that. That's just wonderful, isn't it? Well, okay. And that's my impression of the pedal. You have to be careful with it and don't go so fast that you're missing notes and things like I'm doing. Just slow it down a little bit. You don't copy me, please. You make it yours. You don't have to play it that fast. You play it however fast you can play it and play it accurately. That's all. I like to play it with you very, very slowly to double check everything. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I'll pedal it as I suggested. I'll give us 4 counts and let's just play it together very slowly. Now we're not performing it. We're just checking notes and rhythms here. Just do it one hand at a time with me if you need to. That's okay. 1, 2, ready, go. One and 2 and 4. Three. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2. Good luck. One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, off.